Evening guys, James here from Sunseeker Southampton, down at the home of Sunseeker in Poole this evening. Beautiful sunset going on behind me here, and what better way to spend it than on one of the last Sunseeker 86 yachts to come out of the factory here. She's available, she's a 2020 model, and this is boat code 877. She's just behind us here. Striking looking boat, these 86 yachts. Really at the upper end of the owner-operator spectrum in terms of whether you need a full-time crew, but certainly an experienced operator, as we have a number of owners do already. Around 70 of these hulls have been produced from new. Works very well as a charter boat. It's got a crew cabin in the back that'll take 4, fully MLC compliant, so it's a very versatile model. Standard engines are a 10V 1622 horsepower apiece MTU. This particular boat spec with the larger 12V 1950 horsepower engines really gets on for up to about 28 knots, which is a lot for a yacht of this size. Real sequential turbo system. They really get up and go out of the hull surprisingly well for such a bulk, weighing in around 70 tons. It's a big piece of kit. Really get that sort of little ship feel on one of these. Big bulwarks that come up to your waist as you walk around the side decks. Massive glass windows all the way down the hull here. Twin anchor arrangement there up front. Say it's a real proper boat. Very enthusiastic about this model. Built a number of new and sold a number on brokerage over the years that we launched the boat, since 2014 when the first boats came out. So this is sort of in her twilight time now, just about to receive a refresh into the 88 yacht, which will launch January next year. You can see there the drop out bulwark balcony, which is a factory option. So built as a stock boat for us here. Her high spec, we're about £5.6 million ex tax as you see her. Loaded up, she's got a good nav, good AV, typical 4 cabin layout. So there's not much needed really to make her a realistic proposition for use next season down in the Med or here in the UK. A couple of highlights worth mentioning before we go on board. So this hydraulic high-low bathing platform here on the back, this section is the upgraded stainless steel mechanism. It's a 1,000 kilo lift, which will take a 900 kilo tender, so you're into the realms of a sort of a 520 Williams jet tender on the back there. And we step on up, we've got big lockers. These are lift up lockers in the back here. Storing paddle boards and water sports equipment. Central crew door here. So straight in off the platform, and this is very much a practical kind of busy traffic area, so everything's finished in nice wipe down surfaces. So they've got a small sort of crew mess area here with a shared heads compartment in here, and there's a little galley here. Potentially if you're running this as a crewed charter boat, you'd have 4 crew on board, one of which would be a chef. So really this is just for snacks, and the crew would be fed by the main galley upstairs. And then over on the port side here we've got 2 twin cabins. Turn some lights on. So you've got two bunk beds in here, and then forward again a further two bunks in there. Miele washer dryer here in the middle for laundry on board, and then forward here is the engine bay, which we'll just have a quick look in before we go up top. Turn some lights on in here. So say the 12V 1950 horsepower twin sequential turbo gets up and going very quickly. Rolls-Royce parent company obviously, so very comprehensive warranty. See, everything's absolutely immaculately finished in here. We've got things like fuel treatment systems. This is for the shore power system. It's an Atlas frequency converter. We've got power packs for fin stabilization. So we've got Sleipner Vector 0 speed stabilization. We've got a Hydromore water maker up on the cradle here. We've got the option to add, if you ever want to, another cradle like this sitting in here above the starboard engine. They're on a V-drive, so the gearbox sits forward underneath this checker plate. And then we've got things like accumulators there for a freshwater system, tropical spec aircon upgrade on here, lots of BTU power to cover all eventualities of weather in the world that she may end up. 2 generators, so we've got both port and starboard here outboard. One's a 27 kilowatt, the other one's a 32 kilowatt, so plenty of power to run. You run most of the systems on the boat on one generator, so it almost gives a redundancy of the systems. But if you have got the full galley on, all the aircon on, the stabilization, etc., it's nice to know you've got the backup if you ever need it. There's a deck hatch up there that leads through to the cockpit if you're coming down here whilst at sea. Obviously the main access really hidden through the soundproof door here behind us. And we head back up. Passerelle comes out of the step here, it's worth noting. Full platinum Mediterranean package, so we've got things like the stern docking winches here, lovely fair leads and great deck hardware, so everything's very big, chunky, saves that sort of little ship feel. You can see the depth now in these bulwarks all the way up, so almost to waist height with the rails on top. Full canvas package, so we've got canopies around the back here. We've got independent seat covers for all the aft seating here, table, bow cushions, and the fly bridge if you don't want to run with this stern canopy up. Obviously demonstrates today with the weather just being a little bit changeable, it still makes this a very functional area. But lovely big centerpiece teak table there with a stainless leg, it's all made in-house. So one of the key features with Sunseeker really is us making everything in-house down at the facilities here in Poole. Lovely exterior upholstery, worth noting. So this has got a nice textured pattern to it, and that runs throughout all the exterior zones, including the fly bridge. Obviously teak decks, so we've got an upgrade standard in the platform and the cockpit here. And then you'll see also down the side decks there, which we'll go and have a look up forward in a minute. Panel here for a burglar alarm. Port side here, not fitted at the moment, but you've got the option for a third station control, so you can have throttle and thruster controls sitting in this box. We don't fit them on stock boats these days, just as we often get asked to add a remote system, so then perhaps no longer the need for a fixed third station. And we come on up to the flybridge. You're seeing as that sun's going down now, you're starting to amplify the exterior detail lighting, so we've got feature lighting running around the wet bar, underneath all the seating here. So all the covers on just as a few spots of rain around, and we don't want to get the boat wet before her next owner has the pleasure of taking ownership. So up top we've got a carbon fibre hard top, so this should be 1,000 kilos in GRP or 400 kilos in carbon, so it's a big weight saving, keeps the centre of gravity down. Hard to see in the light here, but there's actually an exposed weave on the hard top for the carbon itself. And then up top, all custom painted, we've got black VHF aerials, TV8 dummy domes, so they don't have anything inside them, again painted black just to give that sort of aesthetic look to the boat. Obviously we could swap that out for a proper satellite system and data communication if you wished. There's a 72 nautical mile 6-foot open array Simrad scanner up top there, and the radar chair is also painted black, just blends in nicely with the roof and the carbon fibre door here, so you maybe just pick up the weave on the camera there. Very safe boat, so we've got rails all over the place if you've got young kids, dare I say little dogs and what have you, so we do have owners that take all their pets away with them. We can enclose these sort of rail areas with a mesh or acrylic panels if you wish, but the framework's all there. The deck is strengthened up the back here to take a hot tub if you wish. This boat configured just with a sunbed under here, just a rectangular Handy for storage. Again, it's got a big locker underneath, but we can swap that out and put a hot tub in, which is a round one with a small sun pad. Or you can put a crane in the back here with a jet ski on the back. It's quite a versatile area. We just need to make these aft rails removable if you wish to do that. But a lot of owners these days just electing to keep this open. It's a great space to have some nice freestanding sort of summit teak sun loungers on the back here. Great place to relax whilst you're cruising along at sort of 12-14 knots without getting windswept. And then it allows you to stack those sun loungers up for storage once you want the space for entertaining, and you can have a big party deck there with a dance floor. So obviously straight up the stairs we come into the wet bar, which is handy if you're crewed. Obviously easy access for the crew bringing up food and drink. And on the back here we've got a griddle, top loading cool box, and then in the cupboards below here there's a fridge, an ice maker, obviously things like a sink, storage cupboards with a bin and what have you. So nice little practical touches. Big U-shaped seating area up here to the port side, so nice to sit alongside captain or owner operator with all the family together. And then a helm on the starboard. So nav kit wise, we've got two 16-inch Simrad displays here, repeating basically everything that we'll see downstairs when we go to the main bridge, along with things like course computers for autopilot, rudder angle indicator. This is a wind speed indicator up top here, another upgrade. Then we've got a joystick system from Zenta, which is a factory option. Sleipner proportional thruster system here as well. So this means if we were alongside a pontoon like we are here, we could just lock these off maybe at 30% and it will hold the boat sideways onto the mooring whilst we sort our lines out. Lovely feature, and it also means that the hydraulic system is very powerful. So if you're manoeuvring in the marinas, you haven't got all that brr, brr noise of the thrusters if you're just using them in tick over. Obviously proportional fly-by-wire throttles here, so very easy manoeuvring. So really will go round on its own axis with one engine ahead, one engine astern. But if that's too complicated for you, then you can forget all of the controls here. Just activate the Zenta system and the joystick is then full control of all the controls together manipulated into one. So if we push this sideways, the boat will engage sideways movement. Twist the top, you can rotate the boat at the same time. Push it forward and steer, we've then got control of the boat moving ahead and into a direction. So it's very intuitive for those that aren't on boats very often, like myself, and you want a little bit more confidence in your close quarters. The Zenta system is a great feature, and it's backed by MTU as well, so it doesn't affect the warranty. You can see things like we've got the stern camera on here on the screen, it's cycling through. Cameras also in the engine bay for monitoring. And you can see the view here from the upper helm. It's great viz. You imagine running this as an owner operator, so you can see all the way down the side there. I've put cameras in before for owners just on the aft overhangs here for allowing you to back in if you're running single-handed with just maybe one crew for assistance. But bearing in mind a boat of this size, we could drop the lines off here even on a night when we've got 6 knots of wind. It would sit here for probably 30 seconds to give you time to sort yourself out before you needed to come and take any of the controls from the helm, just given the weight. So everything happens a lot slower on the larger boats, and once you're confident in the space around you, they're actually a lot easier to drive than you might think. So up top here, this is a full opening centre section, just got the soft liner that sits in there off the boat for storage at the moment. And to the starboard side we've got a nice teak top opening table here, which just fills in this area, so we then get a big dining space as well as that table down in the aft cockpit and inside. So plenty of different options as to where you might want to entertain your guests and your family whilst on board. So just in case that rain gets any heavier, we're going to carry the external tour and just have a quick look round the side decks. And you'll notice as we come out here, if I just duck the camera down, you can see how deep those bulwarks are, so it feels a real little ship set up. Big engine intakes here, obviously breathing a lot of air in to keep those turbos spooled up once the boat's underway. Nice LED deck lights here as well, so you can see She looks great lit up at night, accompanied nicely with a backlit name to go on the transom. Side door here, worth noting, on the port side of the yacht, which goes into the galley area. Handy for crew serving. They don't need to walk through the saloon in the evenings if they're serving out into the aft deck. We've got handy storage lockers on the bow here. Big sun pad here. They've got 3 sections. Cushions lift up the backrest, so that you've got somewhere nice to sit and sort of read a book up here forward. Obviously a very private area. If you're in port, you want to get away from the bustle on the quay behind you. It's a nice space to come up away from the crowds on the quay. A nice little U-shaped seating area here, again, teak fixed table. There's space up top in the recesses here if you wanted to add a couple of parasols. Nice little feature to sit over the top. And then on the forward end of the sun pad, there's a seat in here. And then we've got the upgrade to twin anchor setup. Sanshin remote spotlight there in the bow. So she's real imposing if we just stand here from the bow and look aft. A real substance, great statement coming into a marina. Sounds great, one of these. Say awesome performance. I mean, range wise, we're carrying 11,000 litres of fuel, getting on for a range of about 1,200 nautical miles safely. Added a fast displacement speed. So we just come back through the canopies here. Shut that back down. If anything gets wet, we'll continue inside. So worth noting in the cockpit here, there's no threshold you see on the door. So this is a big drain, so that we've got a nice flush floor through here, nothing to stub your toes on. Just opens the boat up. Single opening centre section here in the glass. Just allows a sort of statement wow as you walk in through the door. It's a nice place to say on the starboard here. I've got an owner in the UK here with a nice feature coat stand here. Place to put your shoe basket and all the other inevitable bits you need. Practical usage of a boat on board. So this particular layout, obviously multiple different layouts when you get to yachts of this size, but we've elected to go for the seating all on one side, more akin to how you'd see a Sunseeker 95 yacht built, which means the TV sits over there, 55-inch TV sat in this box. It's a high-low mechanism, so it pops out there when you need it to. Obviously a very clean look through the windows with it packed away. And all the sofas then here on the port side, we've got this movable sort of buffet stool with a nice little feature wood section over the top. Lots of use of things like mirrors and some great fabrics in here just to give the boat a real contemporary feel. Lots of greys, contrast greatly with this very classic satin black American walnut wood. So you see lots of the recent boats coming out with the Wenge, which is a darker wood to this, but still I would say the number of boats we build in the main, if you want something really classic, then go with a walnut finish like this. So from the saloon we walk forward into the dining space, where you can see they've inlaid a carpet into the Cadorian floor. We've got things like little detailed stainless steel strip around the table here, and a little bit of inlaid stone, again to go against that grain, so it's a real nice feature piece on the boat. Stone carried on here over on the port side, so this is an area for plating up and be running a buffet service in the evening if you're doing entertaining. Perhaps up on the side here, and below we've got additional refrigeration, nice wine cooler, and then this is all glasses and crockery in here. Obviously boat's not yet been commissioned. Literally 12 hours on the engines, just factory testing on this. Hasn't been to any boat shows. Nobody's been on to view, so it's a very, very fresh boat. It's really a unique opportunity. If you want to build something like this, you're into sort of 9 to 12 months lead time ahead. Very tastefully finished. Nothing too crazy in the way of colours. We've got some nice little feature bulkhead panel here. Sliding patio doors there over on the starboard side, which lead out to that drop-out balcony that we saw from the exterior. And then you'll note up in the ceiling we've got lots of feature lighting. Really brings the yacht alive. It's all dimmable. It's on a Weimar panel, which is over by the door there, so we can create different moods, tie that in with the AV, get a nice setting in here in the evenings. Cupboards here to starboard, we've got storage, and then we've got the AV system in here. There's room for further upgrades if you want to add things like the satellite decoders and what have you as a retrofit. Then we come through forward to the bar and galley areas. So as an owner-operator yacht, obviously there's a multitude of different uses in this area. So for full commercial use, there's a shutter system in this top box, drops down in this slot, and it encloses the galley. So then you get a sort of professional galley away from the action, where the chef can get on and plate up meals for guests on board. But if it's an owner-operator usage, and this is then somewhere, perhaps you've got one of the family driving, you've got some family chilling out in the corner there. So kitchen is then all part of your incorporated living space. You've got some nice bar stools here to sit and have a coffee in the morning. Becomes much more of a social space. So quite versatile how you choose to use it. And Galley Appliances itself, we've got a big Miele oven below the countertop there, with 4-burner electric hob, microwave up top here. Very practical. Again, things like storage, trying to make use of every possible area. These boats are built, I say, for extended periods of time away on the water. You can see now where the other side of the bar, how the shutter comes down. We've got a white lacquer finish on the doors in here. Again, it's sort of practical touches. Big fridge. Nice stainless steel unit there. And some freezer underneath. That's the side door I mentioned earlier. So again, safe for serving. Handy touch. We've got a sliding door here, and we've got a sliding door behind us in this area to enclose this area when we wish. And then opposite the helm here, sort of a crew mess area. If it's running as a commercial yacht, or say as owner operator, it's a nice place to chill out, talking to whoever's in charge sat there at the helm. Obviously with 2 helm seats, so lovely Italian Besanzoni electric seats. They go up, down, in and out. Nice footstool there. It's a real centerpiece if you like driving boats yourself. Everything's really very much commercial yacht setup here. So you're running very much on your instrumentation. Now you can see with that sun going down now, we've got a mesh cover over the windscreen here, so the lighting here is a little bit more faded than would otherwise be with that off, but we're really relying on our instrumentation. So these are 19-inch Catalan displays linked into a Simrad navigation system. So we've got 2 for nav here. Again, it's showing cameras and radar at the moment, but we can show whatever we like on those. And the third display there is doing the systems on the boat. So we're carrying 1,500 litres of fresh water. I said earlier, 11,000 litres of fuel. We've got control of things like the generator starts, air conditioning systems, warning systems. It's very much like a monitoring panel that you can repeat down into the crew cabin and up onto the flybridge as well. Then we've got MTU displays here for the port and starboard engines. We've got Sleipner stabilisation control over there. Remote control spotlight panel here. Wind indicator, autopilot system. Controls here for the screens to give you the button pushing and what have you. This is an autopilot little stick here. And then again, the joystick system. So just sitting in the helm seat here, everything's right in front of me. It's a proper little ship feel. Whether you're running with, say, a commercial captain, this is really their office every day. And then in the cupboards below here are all the main breakers for systems, and we've got further banks of switches down in cupboards here. Then accommodation. So going down below decks, it's split into 2 separate zones. So this is a VIP guest cabin forward. Some real funky wall linings on the bulkheads here, illuminated with those LED step lights. Really cool. If you like something really modern, sort of a modern take on the classic walnut wood, I have to say I really like the decor on this boat. full marks to the factory design team for putting it together. So centerline island double bed, 2 meters wide. Lots of use of smoke mirror panels rather than bright mirror, so it's sort of subtle improvement on the space. 40-inch telly up on the bulkhead there. Little vanity station. We've got a good sized walk-in wardrobe in here. So this is kind of number 2 cabin on the boat. Big opening port lights, as well as the big glass fixed panes there. And then this is your ensuite, obviously, with a Minerva stone on the tops there, and again in the bathrooms. Soaker shower up in the roof there. And then we head back up into the main deck. Worth noting here on the starboard side of the boat, we've got a day head, rather than having to walk down the stairs and disturb anybody in the guest cabins. Finished as per everywhere else on the yacht. And then a stairwell down to the main guest cabins. So this is your master. So 3 cabins down here. Midships master, again same large double bed. We've got some small custom changes, things like the bedside tables here, changed from factory standard. We've got a big table and 2 tub chairs there, which was a factory upgrade over the standard sofa. Upgrade here for 2 sinks, so standard was with a single one. Cavernous shower, absolutely vast. You notice how quiet it sounds down here. There's no water slapping on the hull. Being in the midships part of the boat, very quiet. 55-inch TV up on the wall here. Nice vanity station. And again, a large walk-in wardrobe here on the forward bulkhead. And then if we come on round, got this nice lobby area. Just try and stand back so you can see it. Great feature staircase here, which normally you'd only see in much larger yachts. And then these are mirror image cabins. So we've got 2 single beds dressed up. This obviously runs often as a charter yacht at this size, so we've gone for the tracks in the floor here, so the beds can slide together to make a double. So this inboard berth slides outboard to make a double bed, and there's a continuation of the bedside table here, which is running underneath the bed. 22-inch TV up on the wall there, good sized wardrobes. And again, of course, ensuite. Vacuum flush toilets. And if we come on through here to the starboard side again, this is much the same as the other cabin. If you ever need it, we can actually add extra Pullman beds in this wall. So you can have another occasional drop-down single bed if you want to make these into kids' cabins, which will give you another 2 potential berths on the boat, in addition to the 8 that we have in the factory standard. All that sort of thing can be retrofitted on this yacht. So if you don't want to go through the extended time frame of waiting to do a new build 88, and of course the price increase that goes with the new model. So there you have it. So it's a brief tour today, just before starting into the next lockdown. So just take an opportunity to get around the last few stock boats that we have available in preparation for the 21 season. So if you'd like to know any more, drop me an email to james@sunseekersouthampton.com. or give me a phone call. It's 07747 686 587. Obviously ring for international, stick +44 in front of the number. Whether you're looking for something a little bit smaller, which would be a 76 yacht if you're in the Flybridge range, or if we're going larger, we'd be looking at the new Ocean 90, which is launching at Düsseldorf Boat Show, or the new 88 yacht, which will be replacing this boat, say in January as well. So plenty of different options to talk to you about. Just come back off the boat here so you can see now with her lit up at night just what she looks like. So one of my favourite boats in the range, and of course being a stock boat, a great deal to be done on her. Hope you've enjoyed the tour today. It's been an absolute pleasure to host you on the boat, and we look forward to hearing from you in due course.